Alright, everyone, so there's a scandal going on right now in Japan, and normally on this channel I don't cover this kind of stuff. However, I feel like this is important because it could actually affect the future of Dragon Ball because it's coming from the original Japanese, you know, production, and because of that, it may affect things going on in the future. So I want to cover this story now. Before I go into it, I want to say that this is a developing story. This just broke like hours ago. So I'll probably do an update video on this as time goes by, but this is an important video I wanted to get out because it could affect the future of Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Daima, and all the Dragon Ball upcoming projects. We'll go in more into that here, but Toru Furuya, who is the Japanese voice actor for Yamcha. In fact, if you look at my screen right now, you can see some of the other voices he was involved in anime. Sabo in One Piece. He was Tuxedo Mask in Sailor Moon. Yamcha in Dragon Ball, of course. Seiya in Saint Seiya. I mean, this man has had an accomplished career voicing a lot of characters that many of you love. He was Shuren in Bleach. Obviously, here on Geekdom 101, the focus is on Yamcha. And with this scandal going on right now in Japan, the reason why I'm doing a video on it is because there's a possibility this could lead to Yamcha never appearing again in a Dragon Ball anime project. And I'm saying that only because it is possible it could happen, although don't assume it will yet until we have more information. Now, before I go into it, I want to say that the voice actor for Yamcha's character, Yamcha did not have much to do in Dragon Ball Super. Since Resurrection F, when Yamcha didn't even fight with the Z Fighters in that movie, he hasn't done much in Dragon Ball Super. Now, he is in Daima, because in the trailer we saw him become a kid again like everybody else. And Yamcha was involved and a centerpiece in my favorite Dragon Ball Super episode ever, which is the baseball episode. Like, that's my favorite singular episode. I guess 110 is my real favorite, you know, the UI episode. But my favorite one to just laugh at and the best slice of life episode in Super is the baseball episode where Yamcha became a meme. However, Yamcha is still a main character, so I feel like this story should be covered here. So this broke earlier today. Toru Furuya did a report with this magazine called Weekly Bunshun, and I'm going to go over the translation of what he said and talk about how this may implicate the future of the series, okay? So this is from Toru Furuya himself. He says, I, Toru Furuya, have been interviewed by the Weekly Bunshun. I would like to apologize and inform you of the great crime I have committed, okay? He goes, I have an affair with a female fan for I had an affair with a female fan for 4.5 years until last September. I was attracted to her because of her straightforward support for me, and I foolishly contacted her myself to start the relationship. So, he's an actor, had a fangirl that loved him, and he started a relationship with her. Now, I want to let you know that he is much older than her. She's like 70. Oh, I'm sorry. He's like 70 and she's 37. And I'll be honest, I'm not sure in Japanese culture if that's frowned upon or not. I do not know. I can't tell you. I may ask some of my friends, some of my Japanese friends, what they feel about this and whether or not it's actually frowned upon, but there's a huge age gap between them. Remember, this guy's been voicing Yamcha since like 1986, dude. He's been around forever. He goes on to say, during our relationship, we argued once and I unintentionally raised my hand. So he's basically saying that he hit her. He physically attacked her. It was the worst thing I could have done as an adult and as a human being. This sucks, dude. This whole story just made me really sad. Moving on, he says, I also made the unforgivable mistake of causing her to have an abortion. That is crazy. And I know a lot of people, I'm not going to go into this because it's political and we don't talk about political or religious stuff on this channel usually, but I know a lot of people that have, there's a lot of mixed feelings about that, but it's really like kind of sad in a way. So he made her have an abortion. He goes on to say, I'm truly, truly sorry for the deep hurt I caused the other woman, both physically and mentally. So he hit her and he made her get an abortion. Just sad. I cannot apologize enough for betraying the trust of all my fans who have supported me over the years, disappointing them, hurting them, and tarnishing my character. I have also betrayed the trust of all those involved and have caused them a great deal of trouble. So when it comes to this whole story, I don't want to be judgmental because this story is not finished yet. There's going to be more stuff coming out about this, or there might be. I don't know for certain, but there might be more information. It's a brand new story, but so far, I mean, unlike a lot of people, like I respect him apologizing, but what he did is, especially when he put his hands on her, like that's not cool in any way, in any way. You know what I mean? I will sincerely make amends with all my heart and soul with the rest of my life. I am prepared to accept any and all sanctions. I am truly sorry, Toru Furuya. So he basically admitted here that he was kind of a batterer because he hit her. And I'm not saying, we don't know how much he hit her or how bad it was. There's no details on this yet, but more may come out later. But because, because this is happening right now and he just came out and said this, there is a chance, as of right now, he has not been fired. But there is a chance that Aoni Productions, which is the company that basically hires most of the voice actors that work on Dragon Ball, One Piece, Bleach, all these shows, he might get dropped from that company. It's very possible, and if that happens, it may lead to Yamcha just not being involved in Dragon Ball anymore, or he's getting recast. Now, I want to say the reason as to why I come to this conclusion is because if you remember, the voice actor for Kai-Osama, King Kai, he got sick and they took him off of Dragon Ball, and then eventually he passed away. Joji Yanami. It's a bummer because that dude was a legend. He was also the narrator. But what happened, if you remember, is when they took him off of Dragon Ball Super, they never used King Kai-Osama again. Go back and watch Dragon Ball Super. Like, Kaio, who was Goku's, he was friends with Goku, one of his trainers, he's been in every single Dragon Ball arc from Z on, right? He was in the Saiyan, Frieza, Cell, and Majin Buu arcs, right? And then in Super, he was in Battle of Gods, but if you go from Resurrection F and up, he's nowhere to be found. Goku's god friends are Beerus and Whis. And of course, Whis and Beerus are higher level gods than Kaio. But the point is, when that happened, if you remember, they no longer had him as a character because the real life actor got sick. And even though there were some cameos in the manga here and there, in the anime, they just didn't use them anymore. It became a thing where, out of respect, they didn't totally kill the character, but they wrote him off. And because Yamcha didn't really do much in the TOP, he did the comedy stuff, but he didn't fight. There was almost nothing he did in Super. I feel like going forward, there's a possibility we may not see Yamcha anymore. He's in Daima, so he'll probably do something there, but it feels like Yamcha's one of those characters that just gets left behind. Dragon Ball's all about the Saiyans now, so Yamcha, even though he was important in early Dragon Ball, not so much now. But it's still a story that I wanted to cover because I would not be surprised if he does get dropped and we don't see Yamcha again. I know there's a lot of Yamcha fans out there. It's just what happened, man. I mean, again, this is a developing story. We don't have all the details. If more information comes out, or if he does get let go, I will do a video on this channel. So make sure you're subscribed so you get all the news. Dragon Ball Super, Daima, Sparking Zero, whatever. I'm trying to cover all the news here on the channel, and I thank you as always for your support. Let me know in the comments what you think, man. Take care, and I will see you next time.